talk about how uncomfortable the journey from insecurity to confidence can actually be, because I feel like we glamorize this idea of confidence. Like, people look a certain way, maybe they dress a certain way, or they act a certain way, they talk a certain way, they carry themselves a certain way. What is the journey from insecurity to confidence actually like? And like, that process is so different for everybody. It's a never-ending journey. It's something that you have to upkeep. It's like a muscle, and training that muscle doesn't always feel good. Like, it can be really painful, and it can be ugly and hard. And I have watched myself come from an extremely insecure person, and of course it's something that I'm still working on every day, but I have healed and feel like I am kind of the opposite in some ways. Like, things that I used to be so insecure about, now I love and have made me so confident. I recently, the other day, was just thinking about it, and I was like, wow, I love myself. And I have never been able to say that before. Like, I love myself. I love the way I act. I love the way I talk. I love the person I am. I love the friend I am. It doesn't mean that there aren't things that I still want to improve and learn, and things that I will continue to grow in. But I realized for the first time, oh my God, wow, like, I love myself. It just kind of felt like crazy, and it hit me in the face, because it's like, whenever, like, for example, my cat Maisie, she used to be a tiny little kitten, and I have pictures and memories and everything whenever she was so small. But now she's huge, she's big. I've been with her basically every single day. So that change was so gradual. And I feel like that's kind of what happened with my confidence. Like, it was such a gradual journey. Like, I didn't really notice at first that these things were changing. If anything, it just felt like a lot of uncomfortable, like, oh my God, there's a fly. But it just felt like a lot of uncomfortable affirmations and change and all this stuff. And it was just like, oh my God, this is not doing anything. I still feel insecure about this and that, da da da, da da da. But then, like, gradually as time went on, that changed, and I became a different person. Not overnight, but like, I did after I put in the work that was uncomfortable. I've been making floral arrangements for myself every week. I wanted to make one while we're talking about this. I think the first question that I asked myself in the journey was, what does my confident self act like? What does she think like? What does she look like? Like, what is making me so unhappy or insecure in myself right now? What is it? And what does that version of myself who feels good about that, or has confidence, or isn't thinking about that, what is she doing? Who is that? Like, you can kind of do the thing with the whole Beyonce, Sasha Fierce, like, creating an alter ego. What does she stand for? What type of friend is she? How does she treat herself? Like, you know what I mean? Some people are very visual. I am very visual. I have created vision boards for this, and I've created so many. On these dream boards, there are outfits, there are hairstyles, there are photos that just depict a certain energy that I picture whenever I think of my most confident self. Creating those visual boards to kind of go back to and see definitely help. Whatever helps you have like a clear vision of who that person is and everything you could possibly get to know about her. Having a vision of your most confident self, your dream self, your alter ego, whatever it is, having a vision that you want to achieve. Right? You really got to think of every detail. How does this person stand? For example, I have always been insecure about my posture and just like the shape of my back and shoulders. I've just always felt like I kind of have like rounded, hunched thing going on, and I knew that it was coming from stress and insecurity and just like sort of this natural body language that I had, and I was uncomfortable. It just made me feel insecure, and I thought about my most confident self and how she doesn't have that insecurity because she stands up straight. Like, she doesn't have that problem because she can easily have her chest open and feel confident and great. She has that body language. Body language is such an important part, you know, like, of course you can create the vision boards with the outfits and the hair and the makeup, but then you start to think about these smaller details, like there's layers to it. It's like, okay, of course, like, what does she look like on the outside? But then how does she carry herself and how does she speak? That was another thing that honestly I'm sort of actively working on right now, because I know that the most confident version of myself is a really powerful communicator. When I feel like maybe I'm saying too much, sort of dismiss myself and over explain, whenever I catch myself doing that. I have the awareness because I have the vision. Catching yourself and having the awareness of, oh my gosh, okay, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to change the way I'm speaking right now because this is how I've spoken for years and years and years. I don't want to stop myself. I don't want to slow down. That's uncomfortable. But oh wait, I remember how she talks. So let me try to reintroduce that a little bit. Like, you don't have to force a whole new personality or anything, but it's more about reintroducing patterns and like reintroducing ways of existing. For example, with my shoulders, that's something that I'm still working on very hard, but I have gotten a lot better. I've had the awareness for a long time that my posture is not what I want it to be. I had the awareness because I knew the insecurity, and I had the vision of, okay, my most confident self doesn't stand like this. Okay, I'm insecure about this thing. But it wasn't until I actually went through the physical discomfort, like of rolling my shoulders back, taking a breath, stretching the neck, loosening up, that is just not natural to me. And I had to keep going and keep doing it anyways, and reminding myself as much as possible until it just started to become how I was able to stand. I finally had the strength and the power to stand up straight and relax, like I was able to build that through the discomfort. Knowing the insecurity and knowing it well, but knowing the vision just as well. And reminding yourself in all the moments of awareness that you have to go through the little uncomfortable shifts to match that dream vision that you have. Body language. Maybe you can start implementing it into the way that you style your hair or clothes or how you speak or anything, small details, whatever it is. Don't make it so hard for yourself with, okay, I need to change everything tomorrow. I'm going to start speaking like this. Like, that's just not sustainable and that's not going to work. But if you slowly, just every time, can kind of just catch yourself a little bit and shift, that's where the actual magic happens, and it happens slowly and it's not fun. It can even remind you of like what you're insecure about because you're becoming so aware of it. And I think, of course, be careful. That can be unhealthy and hard to always be like, oh, let me be aware of the way I'm talking or the way I'm standing. Like it can be a nuisance. So of course, holding grace for yourself and just knowing that it takes time, and don't put too much pressure. Just be aware of it and know that the real strong action happens in all of the small movements. So just be patient with yourself, but have the vision, and be excited about that vision, and know that that vision and that version of yourself is you, or else you wouldn't have been able to create it. So I got the little cherry blossom branches from Trader Joe's, and I am so happy right now. I've never used these before, and they're so beautiful. And I know that they're very fragile and going to be pretty short-lived, but I just think it's like the perfect thing for the beginning of spring. And I'm so excited about these. Anyway, so getting back to it. Second thing is something that we've all heard before: